All right, Peacemaker fans, here we go. Episode 6, Ignorance's Chris left us in complete and utter chaos. What a fantastic episode. 2 more to go. And right after, immediately following Ignorance's Chris, we got the teaser trailer for episode 7, and we're going to have to talk about it. Before we go forward, I gotta say, pause it if you haven't seen episode 6 of Peacemaker Season 2, because we're going to talk spoilers for that. Of course, come back and when you're done watching it, and we will break down this teaser together. And special shout out to channel member D Hotness McAwesome. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get right into it.
Why'd you come back here?
Hey everyone, this is Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a fan of Peacemaker and the DCU, hit that subscribe button if you'd like, because I talk about it and discuss it with you all in the weeks, months, years coming up. And like I say, I do discuss this. Let me know in the comments down below what you made from this teaser trailer that we got and your expectations going into episode 7. I think going into episode 8, we're going to have a lot of expectations, but this is just going to be episode 7, and I want to talk about this trailer and go through it the way we see it. And it's very short. It's obviously not very long, and there's not a lot to give away. And what they do with these trailers, obviously, is they put pieces together that don't necessarily belong together. So do they do that here? We'll talk about it a little bit, but it opens up with Auggie Smith confronting Keith, saying, we got to talk about your brother. There's something not right about him. And immediately you say, where the f is Economos? Economos is not there. We know what happened with him and Auggie Smith in the scene at the end of episode 6. So where could Economos be? There's a few ideas are, and I think the most likely one is, I've heard some people whisper it might be Judo Master. I don't think Judo Master is going to have anything to do with his survival here. I should point out, I will have a full preview show Tuesday night leading into episode 7, where I'll discuss more. We'll go through more breakdowns. There'll be more theories, and I'm going to have 1 or 2 more theory videos leading into that one as well. We'll get more into that stuff during that time. For right now, we're just going to talk about this trailer and break it down. And I think, to be honest, that Economos is going to get away because of Eagly, because he has that tumultuous relationship with Eagly, obviously. You know, he talks down to him, but they still are friends. They're still really good friends, and I think Eagly is going to come to the rescue of John Economos, especially after cleaning up his mess for him and the past that they have together. So I think we're good there. Also, we know that Economos and Eagly survive at least partway through this episode, as we see them later on in this trailer.
Something's not right about him.
Keith has a look of, oh yeah, that's right. I kind of noticed that as well. There's something been off with him lately. He's mentioned earlier that he's like, have you been all right, man? I've noticed you've been disappearing a lot more and all that stuff. And that's part of the theory that I'm going to talk about on Sunday, something that's going on there. So Keith has the look of, he knew something was up and he just didn't act on it.
That the guy?
From there, we're taken to a mysterious warehouse where we see a mysterious figure, and we realize that maybe none of this is mysterious at all. This looks exactly like the office space that Lex Luthor was using in Superman to control Ultraman. And this looks like, you know, you want to think that this is Polka Dot Man or somebody really, you know, DC related, but I think it's Sidney Happerson. I think we're just getting him back. It makes complete sense, providing who he was in Superman and who he is in the comic, obviously his counterpart there. But I think it would make sense that this is who Lex Luthor would get to use the device to locate the QUC. That's what it makes sense that you would get that. Now, it doesn't have to be over the top cameo. Why they wouldn't go in and show you who it is, I think they want to keep a level of mystique, of mystery in this for us fans to talk, to break it down, discuss. Now watch it be Killer Croc. Just watch it be somebody completely off the wall that they're going to use. But I think it's Sidney Happerson. I think that's who it's going to be. And honestly, it makes the most sense. James Gunn did say episode 6 and episode 8 was where the cameos really were. So I don't know if this episode is going to be cameo heavy. It could be. It potentially could be. And he could have just left it out. But I think it's going to be Sidney Happerson, so I don't think, getting your hopes up that it's going to be anybody super, I don't think that'll end well for your thoughts. I think you're going to be disappointed, and I think it's just going to be somebody simple like that, somebody that can just do what they need to get done, what Argus needs to get done. This is interesting to me because we've seen this shot quite a few times, a sequence quite a few times in a lot of the trailers leading up to this, where you see Harcourt on the back of the motorcycle with Peacemaker, but the look on her face, there's something up there. Now, obviously, again, like Economos earlier, how do they get out of Argus? How do they break free out of Argus? Well, the whole season has set up that Harcourt is a badass and that she can take on anybody. And if you see on the shot, she's very beat up. Peacemaker's also beat up, but we got that from the kaiju, so I think there would be a little bit more there. But Harcourt is definitely beat up, but we see the way she's holding on to him. Oh, are they reconnected now? Has the purpose of getting into this dimension actually succeeded for Peacemaker? Is he getting Harcourt as Harcourt proclaimed her true feelings for him, or is she just finally letting the guard down, being vulnerable around Christopher Smith? And now we get the moment where the motorcycle is pulled over by a bunch of vehicles, and we see his brother Keith and his father approach him, asking the question, why did you come back here? It's not what did you do or anything like that, it's why did you come back here? And I think this moment is going to play out very different than we are expecting. I think it's gonna go where we're expecting, but I think it's gonna play out differently. I think Peacemaker is going to have a breakdown moment. He's going to confess what he did, but why he assimilated himself in that role of Earth 2 is what they're calling it. Earth 2's Christopher Smith Peacemaker. I think it's because he wanted a relationship, a healthy relationship with his father, a healthy relationship with his brother, who obviously, I wonder if he's going to go into details of what happened there. I kind of suspect he might. He might just be like, you know what, all bets are off at this point. I have to tell you what actually happened. This is what happened. But he wanted this life because he missed them both so much, and he wanted a healthy relationship with both of them. This, I think, is going to lead into chaos, though. I don't think it's going to end well for either one of them. We're going to see Auggie Smith, we're going to see Keith Smith, and we're going to see Christopher Smith at their full potential, basically. Now, the cops raid Auggie Smith's house. Why do they raid his house? You have to think that they know what's going on over there. August probably tipped them off or something. Or it could be that Adebayo is in there and they know that she's there and that's why they've gone. We don't know how she's going to escape the zombie apocalypse that's chasing after her in the last episode, right? So maybe somebody finds her, brings her back, Judo Master, somebody there, Sons of Liberty, somebody's going to take her, brings her back there, because her only way to get back is through the QUC. And she goes, and when she gets there, the SWAT team, the cops, they all arrive. There is a massive shootout that happens here, and Vigilante is present in it. And there's only one Vigilante here, and we know that Adrian loves Adrian, and they had a great bond, except for the Peacemaker reveal when you find out what Peacemaker stands for. But there's only one Adrian here, and a lot of comments. And I started thinking as well, after my review, after rewatching it, you think, okay, this whole season, Vigilante Adrian wants to be Peacemaker's best friend. Obviously, season 1, this is, it bleeds in from there. But this season, really at the forefront, that's been his whole purpose. The season's basically like, you're my best friend. I have this knowledge. I have that knowledge. They almost made him too annoying with the knowledge that you think maybe they are going to off the one Vigilante and the other Vigilante is going to come with him because he just doesn't want to live in that world. Or I don't know how you get him out in a satisfactory way where he leaves his parents and all of that. And I think obviously, his dad is not gay in that dimension. I think that is also going to come into play into a few other things. You're going to learn why he is not gay, but he probably is gay in that dimension. And you see Adebayo's face, almost shocked at what Vigilante's doing. It kind of gives a hint that maybe this is not the same Vigilante. And she's like, oh, this guy's like as crazy as the last guy. We're doing this again. You're not much different from the Adrian that I know. From there, Harcourt opens the door to the QUC, and we get this overhead shot of Eagly in the top right, John Economos in the middle right, Judo Master bottom rightish of the screen, and then you got Adebayo and Peacemaker top middle left there walking in the QUC. Adebayo in this shot is injured, something there. She looks like she's injured. And Peacemaker is helping her out. Judo Master coming in from the side. I think maybe he did have something to do with it. If you saw my review, you know that I suspect that a lot of the Charlton comic characters are going to be the Sons of Liberty. Judo Master, I did not mention in that review, but he, of course, is a Charlton comic character, so he would fit right in with the Sons of Liberty if that is the case. With the way, James Gunn has not mentioned there's a lot of cameos in this episode, maybe that's not going to be the case. But until it happens, that's my theory, and I'm going to stick to it. That leaves us to this devastating shot here where we have Harcourt on the ground and Vigilante coming in from behind. A lot of people have said they have not seen Vigilante in this part, but I believe that is Vigilante right there. Which Vigilante it is, I'm not sure. But it's the look on Harcourt's face. Harcourt? No, Harcourt. It's the look on Harcourt's face that says it all. Something is coming through that doorway. But it's not, I don't think it's something, I don't think it's an army of people. I don't think it's all of Earth X. I think it's someone specific. I think it's going to be somebody who is near and dear to her that she's not going to suspect is not who she believes they are. Of course, that's Rick Flag, and my video will be coming out on Sunday about Rick Flag. And this look, I think this is the look that's going to sum up a lot of the episode and is going to take us into episode 8. This could be the first 15 minutes of the episode for all we know, but I think what's going on here is going to have a grave impact on the last episode and a half, whatever it is, because of the circumstance. It's just the what she's looking at. She's holding a gun, looking up. Like, what are you looking up in the QUC? If they're all leaving out, then we got to call GI Robot on their asses. That's what we got to do. I think there's something more to it. I think there's something deeper to it as well. And I think, I did the video, James Gunn cried during episode 6 of Peacemaker, what's happening? And then you see the episode and you say, well, where did he cry? And then he puts a post out saying, the most emotional scene, his favorite scene or whatever, was Harcourt and Christopher Smith in the interrogation room, just kind of having like their talk and their big emotional moment. And you think, I don't think this show is necessarily about big moments. I think it's the little moments that get you to appreciate the big moments. And I think this is a little moment that's going to get us to appreciate the big moment later on. And again, I think this is going to be, and I'll have my full review, my full video on this Sunday night, why I think it's going to be Rick Flag Jr. And that's what I think is coming through there. And I think we're going to learn something interesting about Rick Flag Jr. That's not going to be what you think. And he's going to enter our DCU. We'll talk about that on Sunday. Those are my thoughts on this trailer. This looks like it's going to be a wild ride of an episode. I think, I thought it was going to be the calm before the storm of episode 8, but I think we're in the eye of the storm now. I think this is the eye of the storm, and episode 7 is going to just keep spinning us around, and we're going to feel like we're being shaken in a bottle. And then episode 8, maybe the storm will die off, but it's going to lead us into Man of Tomorrow, which we got to wait 1.5 years for, 2 years for, I guess, not really, 2 years for. It's a long wait, but we got Lanterns coming up, Supergirl coming up. That's going to tide us over, but it's going to be fun and interesting to see. And if you've listened to the James Gunn commentary on Superman, you know what's coming in episode 8. I might talk about that in my preview show for episode 7, but I might just hold off on that for episode 8's preview show because, it's not going to happen in episode 7, so there's nothing to preview for it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you make from this trailer? Am I on to the same wavelength as you, or are we completely on different pages? I would like to know. Like, honestly, if nothing I say plays out whatsoever, then that's fine. I don't care. I want to enjoy the show, and I want to know what you guys think of this show as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. And until next time, may be the master of your own universe.